Hawks lose 6-1 to the Rangers. Nothing clever to say about that. Join us on the postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by Bet365. Download the app, use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. We love our friends at Bet365. We have for a very, very long time as I scramble to find the new messaging that I have failed to memorize.
Where winning is everything.
Where winning is everything. That's right. I forgot.
Not like the Hawks.
I forgot what that was.
But Bet365, winning is everything.
Winning is everything, indeed, at Bet365. Look, Hawks lose 6-1. Last night, they lose, 5-1? And you could say, well, you know, that's a team, the Flyers, that are they're fighting for a playoff spot, and they're going to give you everything they've got for 60 minutes, and you just got to hold on to your butts and hope you survive. The New York Rangers are toast. They're absolutely toast. They've got nothing to play for. They've got nothing to prove, and yet they took it to the Hawks for... You know, Panger and Rick Ball were a little kinder. They said they had a good first period. They had a good first third of the first period. And then from then on, it was all Rangers. 45 minutes of Rangers. Yeah,
I think the first period, you know, you were close to coming away with it with a 1-0 lead, giving up the tying goal. The 1-1 goal very soon after you took the 1-0 lead.
58 seconds later.
Yeah, that's deflating. But the first period was much better than the first period against the Flyers, and that was, we talked about it on the pregame. Let's baby step this. Let's not give up a goal on the first shift of the game, and they almost scored a goal on the first shift of the game.
Ryan Green hit a post about as clean as you can.
They had a good opening 20 minutes, given the circumstances of the game that they just played last night. So you're on night 2 of back-to-backs. It's always harder to play that game physically, and you come away with it. It's 1-1. Like, you don't feel terrible about yourself. Like, you feel like you're in it, right? Against a team you should be in it against. And then the next 40 minutes, you absolutely forget how to play hockey.
Yep.
And like last night, I said after the show, peel back the curtain a little bit. Said after the show when we were done, I was just like, you know, some games it just seems like the fan response, and this is not just our chat. It's not just. It's like it seems like it's the sphere of the Blackhawks world. Some games. Most losses, people just want to MF this team, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And last night I was just like, you know, for the exact reason you gave at the beginning of the show. Flyers are pushing, they're fighting for it. They got some good players. Hawks are young. All this stuff about practice and all that. You know what? All right. Fine. Like, wasn't a great effort. There's lots of things to work on. We understand that. Tonight, given the effort last night, and given the start of this game, things are going in the right direction. And then the final 40 minutes was just terrible hockey. Just not even like, oh, they're not, like last night I was like, oh, they got to get combobulated and having fun. It wasn't even that. Like, it just seemed uninspired. They were hemmed in their own zone way too much. This isn't the Rangers team of a few seasons ago where they went to the Eastern Conference Final and they had a ton of talent. Listen to the broadcast tonight. Look at the guys that got on the score sheet. First NHL goal, first NHL point, first NHL game. It's a very similar roster to what this Hawks team is doing right now. So you should not get run 6-1. And then the physicality that we've been talking about with this team. Last night was not good. Last night was, I thought, okay, I'm thinking maybe it's a one-off. Like, these guys got to figure it out. It's a trend. Tonight was terrible. Levshinov, first off, the whole game, again, we're talking about defensemen not getting hits. The physicality's not there. And you're getting hemmed in your own zone. It's just like, somebody lay a body to try and change some momentum, right? Levshinov goes to the corner, and he gets in a little tussle with Sheary, and JT Miller has a problem with it because JT Miller's a pud and he has a problem with everything.
Right.
So he goes and runs Levshinov. Hawks get a power play out of it. Great. You're down 5-1 or 4-1 or whatever it was at that point. I don't give a flying F. You get a power play out of it. That's got to be a fight. I'm not going to do the hands thing and make myself bleed again like an idiot the first time I did this. But that's got to be a fight. And the guy closest to him was Alex Vlasic, and we really like Alex Vlasic, and we've done a lot to defend him. Don't for like, hey, like, you know, he's maybe this nice guy that's got to figure out. That's got to be gloves off. You just crushed our 20-year-old, my D partner, my buddy, my stallmate. You just crushed him. I don't care if you get a power play out of it. I don't care if you're trying to whatever. It doesn't matter at that point. That's gloves off, and you're going after JT Miller.
Yep. You watch that replay. Alex Vlasic looks. He skates by. He sees Levshinov. Sees the hit. Sees Levshinov down. Looks down at the hit. Looks up at the ice. Looks down at him. Looks up. What are you waiting for?
Come on, man! Like you.
And I'm telling you.
It's so frustrating.
We'll never get the answer to this. Jeff Blashill said something to Vlasic, because at the end of that game, when Boisvert got in the fight, Vlasic was jumping into it, and he was snarling and gritting his teeth and had the first angry face I've seen him show.
Too little, too late.
You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that for your veteran defenseman. Last night, the Blackhawks defenseman had 3 hits combined the entire game. Today, somehow in the third period, they got 3 more. They had 0 hits through, I wrote it down, with 10:58 left in the third period. There was not a single hit from a Blackhawks defenseman when you were getting with 4. Caved in possession-wise.
And that's when you should be hitting people.
You don't have the puck. That's what people used to yell about the Dynasty Hawks. Like, why don't they hit anybody? Because they're winning 5-1 and they've got the puck the whole game. What are they going to put the puck away, elbow somebody, and then go continue with the puck?
Yeah.
No. Dude, that's the thing. Again, losses, fine. Rookie mistakes, fine. You can live with it. But the lack of fight, and I don't mean fight, drop gloves fight. I just mean resistance. Resist the ass kicking you're getting.
We were praising this team, 2 weeks ago for being like, hey,
gritty.
They're jumping into scrums and stuff and all this. And then when you actually get a moment where, and if you've been watching the show for a long time, you'll know that the two of us, and Greg included, are not the most, the biggest advocates for you fight no matter what when there's a big hit. No. If it's a big clean hit, you know what? Sometimes guys just get caught. That's a moment though. That's not it's a big clean hit, but Miller ran him.
Yes.
And
knew he had him vulnerable.
And that's got to be a moment where even if you don't see what happened, if you hear boom, clang into the boards, you look back and Miller's on top of your guy, that's got to be like, well, I'll probably assume he just ran him into the boards. So might as well stick up for my teammate, right? Like,
especially when it's 4-1 or 5-1 or 6-1, whatever the hell it was at that point.
There's nothing to gain from that. Like, it's 5 minutes left in the game. You're down 4-1. Given the way the game's going, is that power play going to change it? They didn't score on it anyways.
No, they
so
sure
what does
didn't.
It matter? No. Just given the way that these games have played out, that's just, and it's probably small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. But in this moment, that's got to be you know what? We're gonna lose. We've been losing. This has been a bad game. Let me at least get something out of it. Let me at least bloody up my knuckles over JT Miller, right?
Yeah.
Might as well.
There's a lot of people that want to punch JT Miller. Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, last night I chalked it up to, you know what, they really have missed their practice time.
True.
Tonight,
it's true.
Sure.
It's
structurally, they were bad.
Practice doesn't make you tough.
Puck possession, they were bad. At that moment of the game, throw all that out. Look, if Vlasic jumps on JT Miller, I feel better about the game.
Sure.
Even if it's still 6-1, which it probably still would have been the way that they were playing, at least you say, you know what, you walk away and you're like, at least this group's getting it. They're getting it to at least come together. It's a young group. We've been talking about all the off-ice stuff, all the like camaraderie, all these guys growing up together and all this stuff. This wasn't like, Frondell, new guy here. I don't really know him much, but this is Vlasic and Lafrenière. It's a couple of years together.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like, get it in there for your guy.
That's it. Show that you're embarrassed by by the effort you're putting forth. If you're really just out of gas, if you're really just mentally drained because this is the most hockey any of these guys have played, again, all of that's valid. But dude, like when you're just getting wrecked, don't you have any like pride about it? Are you not embarrassed by it? I just, you keep seeing like over and over again, just can't clear the puck, can't win a board battle. Like, Darren Pang calls out Artem Lefshon for defending the 2-on-1 incorrectly. Fine. He went over to Will Cooley a little too quickly. Nothing about Ethan Del Mastro losing the puck in the neutral zone, losing a board battle and pinching wrong. Like everybody from top to bottom was making bad decisions today. Connor Bedard in the first period, we're yelling at him like, why would you not shoot that puck? Ryan Donato is on his forehand, face to face with the goalie, and tries to pass to Andrei Burakovsky. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? And you're paying Ryan Donato a good amount of money, and you're paying Andrei Burakovsky, 2-time Cup champion, a lot of money, and Teuvo Teravainen, Stanley Cup champion, a lot of money, and Tyler Bertuzzi, the one guy who I feel like has given a crap for all 72 games it's been or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like someone say something, someone take control of what is happening there and say, this is unacceptable. Who's going to be that guy?
This is like that. That's one of those moments that we've talked about with like these young players. Like, okay, this is your team. All the leadership is gone. You guys are the leaders now. This is your locker room. How are you going to set this tone? And that's got to be a moment where you can't just be passive with it. And yeah, I think we've talked a lot about how Nick Foligno and the tone that he was here to set, or as the captain, and not just him, but like it's like that leadership group, right? Dickinson, Murphy, the veterans that were here, Bertuzzi and Maroon and Alec Martinez, who was on the broadcast tonight, like those guys passing off the like, this is how the NHL works. These are the moments that like, this is when you talk, this is when you don't, this is when you step in, this is, this like just stuff like that sets the tone for like, this is how you operate in the NHL. These are guys that have multiple Stanley Cup champions, long-term veterans, guys that have been in so many different locker rooms, in so many different situations. And now none of them are here now, besides Bertuzzi. And now it's, okay, guys, what's the Taylor Swift song? You're on your own, kid. Like, let's go. This group, your guys are on your own now. You are the kids, and now this is your team, and you've had all this groundwork laid. Like, go out and do it. You can't look around and expect anyone else to step up and do it. You can't look down the bench and say, who's gonna get us going tonight? It's thumb pointing time. You guys are the ones that are gonna be doing this. So go out and grab some moments by the haunches and take it over. This is an opportunity. Go be the MFers on this team. Yep. I want to see it from these young guys.
Who is going to drag them into the fight? That's it. Like, who is going to be the guy that will not tolerate what's happening? And I think, and look, like Nick Foligno said it at the end of 2024, 25? No, 2023, 24, where he's like, I can't be me every game. I can't just lecture these guys every game to have an emotional response to a hockey game, or to show up every game, or to be ready to go when the puck is dropped off the faceoff. Like, it can't be on him every day, because then that wears thin and they get tired of that message.
Right.
It's like someone on this team, somebody step up and grab it.
It's got to be a group mentality.
But you need somebody in that group to be the one that is the one that the teammates know they have to look like. If they let down, they're gonna have to answer to that guy. Yeah, you had it in Foligno, but again, Foligno was a super nice guy, right? Like, Could he be a little bit tough? Sure. But overall, good guy. Like Pat Maroon was a guy who was scary, right? Like Pat Maroon intimidated a lot of his teammates, but he was there for a year. And everyone knew he was there for a year, and he knew he was there for a year. So he wasn't going to jump in there and be like the de facto alternate captain with Foligno and be the guy who's talking every game. He did a couple times, and it's been talked about. But like someone in this young core has to jump up and do it. Someone has to do it. And I don't know who it is. I'm searching the locker room, and I see a lot of soft-spoken, good dudes that are good hockey players and will be good hockey players.
I don't think a lot of those guys are soft-spoken. There's some boisterous guys, but I think it's you gotta feel like you can take up the space now. Like this is a group of young players, a lot of first and second year guys that like they've come in, and you know there's veterans, and I'm trying to figure out the league and trying to figure out my spot. Like now we've seen the push. We've gotten past this trade deadline, and you look around the locker room and you look on the roster sheet, and my God, the average age is 24 years old, and all your defensemen can't rent a car, like all this stuff. And it's just like, who else is going to take up the space but you guys? Yep. You're the future.
That's what you
Kyle
wanted.
Davidson is putting a stamp on you. The point of all of this has been you guys. Go out and be the NHL guys. Go out and have that mentality, have that swagger. We've seen it in spurts from a lot of these guys. Connor and Frank have had it a lot. But go out and, like the rest of you, like you guys are all in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're all very young, but you're in the NHL, and this is going to be on your shoulders. Like, go up and puff your chest out a bit. Feel like you're in the NHL.
That's it.
I don't know.
It's very simple to me. I mean, it's just someone just.
I know it's easier said than done, but like, you're professionals.
It's the point
you're pros.
When you're at the
go
point.
Be a pro.
When you're at the point
it's
of
embarrassment. When
you're at the point of embarrassment. Someone's got to say enough is enough. And I've got to be, all right, look around. No one's doing it. Fine. It's me. I'll be the Jag now. It'll be me. And you can all be mad at me and roll your eyes at me. Fine. But I'm going to be the one who says something because it's ridiculous.
Got to do it.
All right. We are contractually obligated to nominate Game Puck nominees. So we're going to do it via Game Day Men's Health. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. We have 2 nominees tonight. And we are stretching. Nick Lardis gets one, scored a goal, his 3rd in 4 games. And I think overall he's been pretty effective. Ended the game with 2 shots on goal, 4 shot attempts in 10:57, and did not have a minus on his record. We're going to give the other one to Sasha Boisvert, his first NHL fight, 2 hits, and won 50% of his 8 faceoffs. Also led the team in Corsi percentage, if such things interest you. So get your votes in, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. We are going to hit the break zone. We are hoping to hear from Jeff Blashill and hopefully some very pissed off Blackhawks coming up later.
Bertuzzi seems to be talking. So
okay, we'll see how that goes on CHGO Blackhawks. Good, better, best. Chicago is home to that iconic slogan, and Bet365 has a rally cry of their own: early payout offer. Here's how it works. Your team goes up 10 points at any point in the game. Bet365 pays you out right there on the spot. Bet365, where winning is everything. They've got their deal going now. Bet $5, get $150 promo. Any new Bet365 user will get $150 in bonus bets after depositing $10 and making their first $5 bet. It is that simple. Where winning is everything. Download the app. Use the code CHGO365 and sign up today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Illinois. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Illinois. $10 minimum deposit required. Bonus bet wager excluded from returns. New customers only. 21 plus. Time limits, minimum odds, and terms and conditions apply. Offer is in-app only and void where prohibited.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That is the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. It's super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and it can let you stream the game even when the whole family is online. All of your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part is there's no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from us, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable and the price should stay the same. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions, they do apply.
All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and despite the loss, we have a lot of super chats. By the way, if you've not done it yet, please hit that like button for us. We're very close to 100. It helps us out big time. We have one from Joe, who gives us $10 to say "Rotten Apple" is my title. He's given Chloe some thumbnail suggestions. Good stuff. Like that, Joe.
That's a really good song by Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
very underrated.
They're all really good songs by
Alice in Chains. You know that one? Yeah?
Nice.
Oh, there we go.
Good.
Cool.
What did you call Dad Rock today? What was the band you said?
Death Cab for Cutie. I'm not saying that that's Dad Rock. I'm just saying that that's what my dad listens to, so I say it's Dad Rock.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I feel slightly better.
Yes, you're welcome.
Licked S.A. I don't know how else to say that. Says Jeff Blashill is the tank commander we need. This is whenever this happens, the coach is an idiot and the GM needs to be fired. That is like the first response every time there's a bad game or a bad stretch. Fire the coach. He's an idiot. The GM's an idiot. Fire everybody. Sell the team. Okay. Thank you for the $5. Pip for $2 says we need 1 toughness, 2 better passing, and 3 a captain. I'm with you on 2 or 3 of those. I don't know if someone having a C on their chest would have changed the outcome of this game.
I'll frame it as
an emotional captain.
They need a leader. They need a leader, and I know it's going to be Connor Bedard, and I'm not saying Connor Bedard go out there and fight, but they need someone who's
got to be better too.
Who's a voice. They need someone who is a voice and is going to be a follow me. We're going into the junk, and we're going to come out the other end and be on top.
Sounds really painful. It's like that pitch yesterday. Right into the junk and potentially out the other end. But I know what you're saying. You're talking about like a spiritual captain, and that I agree with.
They need a shaman.
Someone be that guy.
Someone be the shaman.
Someone be that guy.
Yeah.
Adam for $5 says missed most of the game after the first. Turned in to see a Beauvoir give a stinger in the scrap. Also, why couldn't Dickey hit after the whistle there?
Dickey? He's gone.
I don't know. I couldn't Dickey hit after the whistle here.
After the whistle here.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Adam, clarify that in the comments.
I don't know the
second
part of that.
That
one.
might be a typo or something like that.
The Boisvert fight. Yeah, it was.
He was waiting for it.
Yeah,
he was looking for a spot.
Yeah, definitely. Fighting Will Borgen. Yeah, interesting choice, but he hit him good. He hit him with a good shot.
Yeah,
it was a pretty even fight though. It was very short.
And William the Walrus says for $5, Jay, nice hoodie. That's it. That's the only compliment I can come up with tonight. But at least Sasha got his fight. Yeah, thank you very much.
What about my hoodie? It's very gray.
It is very gray. Mine's very colorful.
Millennial gray.
The Grateful Dead Bears with hockey equipment. That's pretty much my entire personality. So there you go.
Don't you have another one that's like that?
I don't think so.
What am I thinking of? I don't know. Didn't you have the sticker on your?
I did have a sticker of the Grateful Dead Bear making a glove save.
That's what
on my laptop. I got rid of that. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Positives.
Post game is. Should we want to do some positives?
Any positives from? Well, Nick Lardis scored. That's 3 goals in 4 games for him.
Yep,
that's good.
That is good.
I'll take that.
His 8th goal of the year. I ran the average. He is on pace. If you extrapolate that over 82 games, 20 and a half goals. So
good,
pretty good.
Good
for a rookie who many of us didn't imagine would be part of things for the bulk of the season. Yeah. 20 goals. You like that?
Good. He has been.
And there's definitely more there offensively from him.
Yeah. He has been, he has been pretty good.
That happens.
It's the bubbly water.
Yeah, no.
He's been good. And I think, the short while that we all got very upset that he was on the fourth line, he did what he was asked and he got rewarded for it. And now him and, Frank have got some chemistry going, and, that trio with Bertuzzi there can work. There were moments tonight where Lardis and Nazar and Bertuzzi were creating. Lardis had some looks on the power play too. He had one really good one that he fanned on, which was just like, it was late in the game, and I was just like, of course. So that was disappointing. But yeah, he's been good. I don't imagine he's going to be down the lineup the rest of the year. Feel like he's going to finish the season right in that spot.
These are my lines.
Which is where he should be.
Mangiapane comes back. We'll talk about it. I'm not taking Slaggert out.
Not the way he's been playing, no.
There's your opportunity to sit Burakovsky, who I will say...
Sorry to get Drew Bledsoe, but like you get hurt and you get your spot taken. Like,
but I will know say,
what are you going to do?
Burakovsky had a slightly better game today until he threw away a backhand pass into the middle of the ice in a defensive zone that led to a Rangers goal. But he made a couple things happen.
As is tradition.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, maybe Mangiapane's that guy. Maybe he's the drag him into the fight guy. It's Mango. He's going to be the one that does it.
Sure. One of the smaller guys on the ice. Why not?
Another positive, despite finishing -2 tonight, Anton Frondell again, 20-50 of ice time. A shot, a block shot, a missed shot, a hit, a giveaway, a takeaway, and a block shot. All ones. 1-1 across the board for Frondell. But just Darren Pang said it during the game. Like, this kid does not look 18. He has a first of all, just his size, his physical size is big. His ability to forecheck, to win pucks, to keep pucks. I like what I've seen from him in 3 games. Didn't get as many shots off today as he had over the last few, but again, the only time the Hawks had the puck was when they were failing to clear their own zone. So it's part of it. The power play did not look good, so they weren't able to set him up for that one-timer that we've been waiting to see go in the back of a net. Yeah. But I've been very impressed with Frondell over his first 3 games.
Yeah. Led all forwards in ice time tonight, and they're giving him the run. Like, I'm happy to see that. Playing him with Bedard, give those two some opportunities to get comfortable with each other. He made a play early in the game where stripped the puck from JT Miller and set up Bedard for a scoring chance. Like, it's in a game like this, in a stretch of games like it's been, you got to find those little micro victories for these young players. Hopefully they can become macro victories and actual victories to close out the year, because that would be good to go into next year with a little bit of momentum. But good to see Frondell making those plays. When you get a guy that's had opportunities to make really standout plays and kind of show that elite level talent at a professional level at 18 years old, which he's done in Sweden, it's encouraging and impressive to see it also translate to his first few games in the NHL. And it shows you, like, yes, this is why he was picked where he was. This is why the excitement is there for him to fit into this group and be that guy that can run with Connor Bedard that we've all been waiting to get here.
What's funny too is that his numbers were so lopsided. So many more goals and assists. I think what he finished with 20 and 8. Was that what the final numbers were? Yes. And there was a little bit of, I don't know if it was concern or question, but like, oh, he's just more of a goal scorer. The plays he's made that have impressed me the most have been passes. Like, they're just, he's got a real touch on him. The Mikheyev, his first NHL point where he springs Mikheyev on the breakaway was really nice. Whether or not he meant to set up Bedard with that, which we ran a poll on Twitter. Whether or not that was on purpose or not, we don't know. But the playmaking seems to be there too. So to imagine where this kid's going to be, 3-4, not even that far. Next year, the year after.
Yeah.
You worry about a sophomore slump as you do with any of these guys who are playing in their first 82 game season, but at least next year it'll be a little more spread out. There won't be so many 3 games in 4 nights, or you know what I mean? Like, it's it'll make it a little bit easier to adjust.
The condensed schedule is rough.
It should be an advantage for young players, though. They got more energy than these old bastards.
Yes and no. They've especially when they're rookies, like they've never played these many games in this condensed of a schedule. But also, yes, they're the younger guys, and they just inherently have more energy and less miles on their tires. So it's give and a take.
All right, we're going to hit the break zone one final time. When we come back, we're going to hear from Jeff Blashill. We're going to hear from Tyler Bertuzzi.
We'll also hear from Alex Vlasic.
And Alex Vlasic, great. And we'll continue with your super chats as they roll in, which we appreciate always. Hit the like button. Talk to you in a few minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Whether it's on the field or in your financial life, the best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. At Old National Bank, they believe every play matters. From everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking, their team is there to build momentum and help you move the ball forward. It all starts with a plan tailored for you by professionals you trust. From simple tasks to bigger financial moments, you can count on Old National Bank to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence to each step. It's a partnership designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but well into the future. So whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, Old National Bank has your back with tools, insights, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. I use Old National Bank. You should use them too. Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter.
The shot clock is ticking, and it's your chance to shop buzzer beater deals all month long at Ray Chevrolet during their car clearance madness event. Stop in today and drive home with 0% financing for 72 months on new Chevrolet models, or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of the Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you'll get a great deal. And Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location on Route 12 in Fox Lake. And don't miss your shot to shop the Car Clearance Madness event going on all month long for 0% financing for 72 months on new Chevrolet models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks, and now it is time for Taking a Temp, presented by Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. You found an interesting statistic about Alexis Lafrenière.
Yeah, he was the first star of tonight's game, I believe, with no, sorry, he was not. But he had a goal in the third period. Nice tip play, his 22nd of the season. He now has 10 goals and 19 points in 16 games since the Artemi Panarin trade.
Well,
fascinating.
Opportunity probably is part of it.
Opportunity, yeah. I mean, he's up to 51 points in 73 games this season. He's a guy that there's been a lot of conversation about around the league. Former number one pick.
And number one, if you remember correctly, he was like a Bedard level pick.
Oh,
he was like an undeniable.
He was going to be Sidney Crosby.
Yeah,
baby.
Talked about for years. Yeah.
He's fallen short of that. But as
let it play out.
You know, we've talked about with a lot of these young guys and a lot of these, you know, these players with the Hawks and you know, playing at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, like they are not finished products, and it takes time. And some guys it takes being in the right situation and being paired with the right player. Like there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle of unlocking what makes, you know, these elite level players like get to those next levels. And with Lafrenière, like, I mean, there's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs. He's played top line, he's played third line, like he's been all over the place. And now as the Rangers move into their, we're not calling it a rebuild,
don't call it a rebuild
mode, he's kind of locked into being part of it and being a focal point. And he's actually like, you know, you look at it and like, yeah, there is something still there with him. Maybe you go back and redraft knowing what you know now, he's not number one, but he's still one of those guys that you would say, yeah, he's going to be one of those solid players that, you use to move forward with. The Rangers are going to do it.
He was the 2020 draft?
Yes, he was in the 2020 draft. It was him, Byfield,
Stützle, Raymond, Sanderson, Drysdale,
Holtz. So he's not number one. But
it's interesting.
But he's probably still top 10.
One.
Probably still top 10.
Yeah. Who goes first in that one to you? Would it be Sanderson, Raymond, Stützle? Probably Stützle. Did someone hit late? I'd
probably say Stützle.
JJ Peterka was a second rounder.
Stützle and then Raymond in that top 3 range.
Nobody else jumped out from that draft.
But again, and we've brought it up a bunch of times. He said it again today on Twitter in regards to Matvei Michkov, Chris Pronger, and the 300 game benchmark of when you kind of figure out what NHL players, young players are at that point. Yes, the very rare elite of elite players can tell you who they are very quickly, i.e. Matthew Schaefer, Macklin Celebrini, even Connor Bedard. But to get a real sense of what a guy is going to be, it takes some time. Yeah. It takes triple digit games before you actually can make a call and be like, this guy is good, this guy is bad.
I mean, I don't remember where I was. This might have been right before the deadline, and they were talking about trades, and I was hearing Kings fans trade Quentin Byfield. He sucks. It's like, what? What are we talking about here? All the guys we're talking about now were not fully realized yet, and they were drafted 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that draft class, they went through some screwy seasons in formidable years, so that I think can play a factor into some of their developments. But yeah, I it's giving up on a guy super early is not usually is not going to work out. Now, yeah, there's some guys that you can figure out right away. You know what? This was a mistake.
Yeah.
But there's other guys that it'll take some time. And I think to pull it back to this Blackhawks group, this is year 3 of Bedard, second full season of Nazar, first full season in the NHL with Levshinov. Rinzel's a rookie. Even, Kaiser, this is full year number 2 in the NHL for him. It's going to take time for them to get to those.
Kaiser's played 165 games.
Right. It's going to take some time for those guys to take those steps and to do it together, because this is a group that's going to be doing it together for the most part. So again, finding the right combinations, finding the right pairs, lines, it's going to take a little bit of working.
Lebowski 55 points out Gustav Forsling. I think that
he had 3 stops.
He's an outlier in the other direction. And Darren Radish should be another one of those super late bloomers. But also, I think both of those guys. I don't want to take away anything from Forsling, maybe a little bit from Radish, but I think a lot of that too is, what team are you on? Who are you playing with? Those things matter too.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he's in the best situation he's been into, and I think you'd say the same for Darren Radish.
They've got to set up their own environments for guys to thrive in. It's not just baked in that anyone that goes and plays in Florida is going to be good. That had to develop.
Yeah.
So Hawks have to do it here too.
All right, let's hear from Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill, who spoke after the game. We're going to hear from Bertuzzi and Vlasic too, coming up in a moment on CHGO Blackhawks. Thanks for the Blackhawks for use of this video.
What do you feel like that snowball there in the second period?
Yeah, I just think we overcomplicated it, and as a result, we just ended up playing a whole bunch of D. And obviously, I've said this before, momentum matters. So, when you get scored on, that matters. But I just thought we just made it harder than we had to. I thought in the first we played fast, predictable. We were, especially the first half of the first, we were in their end. Had a good shooting mentality, and then we kind of wanted to do a couple things. Their pressure got to us a little bit. They come down walls hard. Their D are tight on you. We didn't handle the pressure quite as good. But then we just wanted to we just didn't make enough hard, strong plays.
Opponents have you noticed any pattern? I feel like
this season, opponents have responded to your guys' goals pretty quick as that, Penner, you noticed?
That's just, again, that's every game's a little bit different, how that happens. Some of that may be on us just to recognize, how big those momentum shifts are after goals. That might just be something we just got to get better at. So it's not something I've spent a lot of time on, more just focused on our shift-to-shift process.
How have you noticed the team handling it, just kind of in terms of their confidence and morale and everything, especially without the former leaders to kind of talk them through it?
We'll see. I mean, I think overall we've had a pretty good run, and then, these 2 games have been tough. So this will be a good test for us here after 2 tough ones. We obviously had a big win on the island and then didn't respond over these 2 games. But I think overall we haven't really been in this spot a lot. I think we've played pretty good hockey through most of that stretch after the trade deadline, and now we got to regroup.
Are you noticing any fatigue at all?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of the whole schedule for everybody, so you can kind of tell when teams are, in a grind a little bit, but I think right now everybody is. So, part of fatigue is learn how to play smart. We just got to learn how to play a little bit smarter when we're tired.
Not many teams are as young as you guys are, though. Do you think that's part of it too? I mean, these guys are going through it for the first time.
Yeah, there's zero doubt that, kind of what I felt like before the trade, or before the Olympic break is, we have a whole bunch of guys going through the NHL schedule for the first time, much less this condensed schedule. So it's a hard challenge for a group that's as young as we are, but we got to respond to the challenge, and we got to take these opportunities to grow and get better, and we didn't do that in the second and third tonight.
All right, there's Jeff Blashill.
They certainly did make it hard on themselves the way that they played that second and third period. Not having the puck makes playing hockey hard.
Well, I mean, this has been a complaint of ours all year, is like, why are they making 4 or 5 extra passes all the time? You're not that good.
Yeah, it's not an NHL exclusive idea that, like, hey, when things are getting screwy in your own end and you can't get possession of the puck, sometimes you just need to reset. I don't care if you take an icing, but just get it out of your zone and just stop the play.
Yeah.
And you can get another face-off and try again. Because the continuous, try and make a play and chip it out perfectly and make a pass, it often leads to more trouble in your own zone and less successful zone exits. So it's, again, like they teach you that all the way down to, the youngest levels of hockey, and live to fight another day and don't make a complicated play even more complicated. I guess you got to figure it out at the NHL level. They've been taught that in college. They've been taught that in juniors, all that. You just got to figure it out how to do it here now.
It takes time. It's frustrating, but it takes time. Let's get some more super chats, and we'll hear from Vlasic and Bertuzzi. Z-Man Cub says, butchering Lefschnau's development, his confidence is gone. He does not look very confident. I'll say that. I'm not ready to say they're butchering his development. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't spent any time in Rockford this year. But he certainly looks like he's thinking again. You could see him processing things on the ice, and that's usually not good.
Yeah.
Dylan Yost says, fire the coaches and trade everyone but Bedard. However, every other word is capitalized, which indicates he's mocking people that say those things.
Sarcasm. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. It's the SpongeBob with the beak meme. Yeah. That's read it that way. And Adam says Adam clarifies what he meant about Dickinson. Dickinson hammered Theodore last night after the period in retaliation, wondering why the Hawks aren't willing to make dirty plays.
Calvin and Simon, what are you doing? Don't let Dickie do that to your brother.
Yeah. So, okay. That was something that happened in the Oilers game. I don't know. And look, Dickinson was here for a long time, and you could probably count on one hand the number of questionable plays he made in terms of like borderline clean or dirty. He's a guy who I didn't see it, but he's probably pissed off in the moment. Like, F this.
He's a super competitive guy. And now he's on a team that's, competing for something, in the playoffs and positioning and all that stuff. Like that's It's why him and Murphy got the opportunity to go there, because they're hungry guys for that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
good for them.
We got any more? Did we get them all? Super chats? Okay, let's do Tyler Bertuzzi. She's got the mouse over to the Bertuzzi video, so we'll play that one. Here he is after the Hawks 6-1 loss to the Rangers.
Seemed like a close first period, and then things kind of fell apart. How would you assess the team game?
Yeah, I mean, you're right on. We had a pretty good first. We were in the game. Not much was going on. We were just playing simple, and then I don't know what happened in the second and third. Something changed, and we weren't playing our game, and then it kind of bit us in the ass.
You assisted Lardis' goal. How has he skating with him kind of changed your game, and what have you seen from him since being online with him?
Yeah, he's been really good. He battles hard for a smaller guy. He's physical, and he gets in on the forecheck, and obviously he can score goals, and that's what he does. So I've been enjoying playing with him, and it's good to see him doing good.
The game snowballed these last two. Anything you've noticed in this group that's lacking right now?
I mean, I can't. We're trying to figure that out ourselves. I don't know if it's just such a young team, immaturity, and we can't put it together. But it's on everyone. It's on us older guys, to show the lead and have them follow, and just as a group, everyone. The last few games we have not been good at all.
All right, there he is, Captain Jack Sparrow on the Blackhawks loss to the Rangers. I like to hear him talk. I mean, he doesn't.
It's like the fourth time this season that he has.
Yeah, but I think he. What am I trying to say? He usually reflects the feeling we're all having. Like, he doesn't sugarcoat stuff. He doesn't try to be like, we'll get him next time. He's said, I don't know what happened. It sucked. We were bad.
Not just going to give you.
It bit us in the ass.
Yeah. He's not wrong. For reasons beyond our belief, they've been really bad the last couple of games, and he's got to be one to step up when he's and look, he has all season. He's been way more consistent than he was last year.
Yep.
He's been a guy that will give 110% every night. But I think this is a moment where, okay, look around. Kids aren't getting it. You're one of the 4 guys that's over 25 on this team.
Yeah.
You've been around longer than any. Is he now the most experienced Hawk, Bertuzzi? He's got it.
Him or Tavo.
Yeah. It's a moment where this is where, okay, this leadership role that you're now in, more visibly with the letter on your jersey, he's got to be one to step up. Donato and Tavo, they've got to step across the board. Can't just rail on the young guys like we did at the beginning of the show. It's also got to be the veterans that are still here. You still serve a purpose, even though the focus on the organization is the future moving forward. You still serve a purpose here.
Bertuzzi 557 NHL games, Tavo 817.
Okay,
so yeah, but that's it's a big difference. All right, I want to hear from Alex Vlasic because I know that Ben Pope asked him if he should have jumped in. Mm-hmm. I want to hear what he has to say, again, courtesy of the Hawks.
Pretty even first period, I guess. What went wrong in your eyes come that second period?
I felt like we kind of just tried to change up our style of play. I thought we had success in the first, keeping it simple, getting pucks in, and just playing a simple brand of hockey. That's kind of how they had success in the second and third. So, for whatever reason, we just kind of got away from that, and they were able to capitalize on our mistakes.
You noticing any trends in the last couple of games, just being outscored by so much?
Not really. I mean, I think kind of like I just said, it's on us to be smarter with the puck, to make harder decisions when we're in difficult spots. All over the ice. They have some skill in their lineup, and any good team's going to be able to make you pay.
It looked like after that Lafrenière hit, you we're going to do something, and then kind of decided not to. What was going through your mind?
I just didn't really know if we had a power play. I checked over my shoulder. The ref had his arm up, so saw we had a power play. Looking back, I wish I did step in and do something there. I thought maybe we get one on the power play. It's a 4-2 game with 10 minutes left, and we have a chance to win. But it's easy to say looking back now.
How do you feel like the locker room handled these 2 games with so many young guys in here and not having the Folignos and Murphys to kind of talk to you guys through it?
Yeah, it's something that we have to navigate ourselves, and myself, I've got to step up as a leader. I've got to step up in the locker room, on the ice. Do as much as I can to help everybody. I think it's on all the young guys in here to kind of contribute and make sure this is a team effort, because we've got a lot of the guys, a lot of the core pieces that are going to be here moving forward, hopefully. So it's on us to do a better job.
Do you feel like you guys are feeling this schedule right now, just how condensed it is, or just it's a young group where a lot of guys haven't played even full pro seasons?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think everybody's kind of going through the same thing. If anything, we should know that we're kind of on the home stretch here, and even if we're low on energy, we should have some juice still left in the tank to kind of keep pushing through these last games and give ourselves a fighting chance.
All right, there he is, Alex Vlasic. Look, says in hindsight he should have done something. Okay.
Yeah. Look, if we're going to rail the Maple Leafs for saying the exact same thing, again, like I said before, at that moment in the game, what's it matter if you have a power play?
What are you doing?
Like I get the competitive side of guys and being like, no, we're not out of the game. Yeah, you were. You were.
Sure.
Like, look at how the
Your power
first
play's ass, too.
50 minutes of that game had gone, especially the 35 leading up to that play. Like, that one power play is not changing the course of that game. I don't know. I expected that to be the rationale if we did get to hear from him and Ben asked him. As I don't like it, but nothing you can do to change it now. But it's a moment where hopefully and clearly, as you said too, like someone, I'm sure Blashill got in his ear, because then he went out I'm sure he recognizes, like, wow, okay, I definitely should have done something in that moment. So I'm gonna, if there's another moment, I'm gonna
take the opportunity. And he also, his next shift, I noticed there was like a little bit of a mix up in front of the Rangers bench, and he kind of like hard delivered a cross check. It wasn't much, but someone definitely said something to him. And
I'm sure
Blashill will never say it. He will. Well, he might say it if someone asks him. He might admit it.
He might, yeah.
But it's not in Blashill's style to be like, I told him he's playing like a wuss and he's got to be tougher. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not his game. It's not his style. But it definitely seems like, even if no one said it to him, that he had a realization of, man, our 20-year-old potential star defenseman just got ran, and I watched and didn't do anything. What am I doing?
Yeah,
and
you don't want to be the Maple Leafs. You don't want to be in that spot.
Well, there's a lot of conversation about that, and the Maple Leafs, despite not winning a cup, had some decent playoffs, decent regular seasons, some decent, really good players who put up really good numbers. But the criticism for them is a couple of, A, it's the softness, the mental softness. And B, I think the lack of depth. They're very sort of top heavy with really, really good players. And then you had David Kampf in there forever, who could hardly fill in on the crappy Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They were crappy.
Well, yeah, the Maple Leafs, they had some really good teams, and they have very talented players. And they're really good in regular seasons, but when it comes to the playoffs, it is a different sport.
Well, and who built the Maple Leafs?
There's a different, thinner playbook or rule book.
Well, and, I always joke about this, but if you want to pump some air into the need a hockey guy sort of thing, like an analytical young GM like Kyle Dubas is like, skill. I'm going to win with skill. That's how I'm going to build the Leafs. Skill. And he got it. And he had some really great regular seasons and some high-scoring teams. And like you said, when the playoffs started, they didn't have it. I hope that Kyle Davidson is not following that path. I hope he's learning from it. Norm McIver is as old school of a hockey guy as you can have. It's his right-hand man. So he knows what it takes to win in hockey, too. Brian Campbell's a cup champion. Like, he knows. Like,
yeah.
I look, this is not a finished product by any means. It's certainly not. And if you heard our interview with Kyle Davidson or you heard him talk to anybody else, he fully acknowledges, like, I don't think he said, like, this is my roster I'm going to war with. No, we all know that some of these guys are going to develop more than we thought, some less, and he'll have to adjust on the fly. But I think one lesson that we're definitely getting this year is this team needs some grit. They've got to find some grit. And that doesn't mean Matt Rempe or Ryan Reeves. It means finding players that have that spark to them. And when I look back to the Mangiapane ad, it's not going to be very consequential in the long term of the rebuild. But I do think when he looked at that guy, I said, at least that's a guy who's going to show up and scrap and claw and fight for every inch he gets.
Yeah.
And maybe they learn from example, but he's gotten hurt, hasn't been available. So it's kind of out the window.
Yeah. And I think Sean in the chat kind of makes the point, and the DNA of a player makes a big impact. Some guys just have it in them to be those types of players that are just pains in the butt to play against night in and night out. And some guys play different styles and have different strengths that don't include being guys like that.
Yeah.
And I'd say that there are players that Kyle Davidson has brought in himself through the draft that have those types of mentalities. We've seen Boisvert have that. We've seen, I think Marek Vanacker is a player that has that kind of style to him, where he goes to the hard areas and he can play aggressive around the net.
Spellisy
is a guy that plays that way. You look at, we just had him in my head. Oliver Moore. Now, is Oliver Moore going to mix it up and get punchy? No, but the way that he plays is very aggressive. And there were a few moments this season where Oliver Moore would go in and get in a guy's face and shove back. And I think that there are players that Davidson has specifically brought in that have a little bit of that trait. Now you got to see them bring it out at the NHL level. And there's some players that are here that he didn't bring in that have that too. Del Mastro's a guy that's been, a rough and tumble player in juniors and the AHL. He hasn't had a lot of NHL run to kind of let that happen, but I think he's a guy that can do that. Is he going to be able to actually do it with NHL minutes long term? Who knows? But I think that there are some guys that have that quality to them. They've just got to find it at the next level. Each level, you got to be able to find what makes you really good, what makes you tick, and what can bring out those elements of your game.
Yeah, a couple of people brought up Colton Dach in the chat, and let's think back, guys. Like, Colton Dach couldn't crack this lineup consistently at all this year.
He had that in his DNA, but yeah, exactly. His play wasn't reliable enough to be in the lineup every night.
And he didn't have it every night. I think he would have it a couple nights where he'd have 4 or 5 hits and be a factor, and then he'd disappear for a week, and then he would be hurt, and
that's the inconsistency.
And he's hurt again. Yeah. So, I like Colton Dach too, but if Colton Dach turns a second into a first, I'm all for it. Sorry. That's where I'm at on it. But look, we've got time. It's frustrating. It's been a frustrating couple nights. They're off tomorrow. They're back at it Sunday against the Devils, another team that theoretically they should be able to hang with. You'd imagine Spencer Knight gets to start. Not that I'm putting any of this on Arvid Soderblom, but another opportunity to right a wrong.
Finish the road trip with a much better effort, and you feel a little bit better about yourselves coming back home for a game against the Jets.
That's it.
Please.
A win in New Jersey cleans off a lot.
For.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. But first, we've got to tell you about our Game Day Men's Health Game Puck winner. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. Our Game Puck winner is Nick Lardis, who scored his 3rd goal in 4 games.
8th of the season.
8th of the season for him, on pace for 20.5 over 82 games.
Good.
So good to see.
Also, an update from the NCAA tournament. Currently, heading into the third period, the Penn State Nittany Lions and Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs are tied at 1 apiece. That is a game featuring potential top overall pick Gavin McKenna and Blackhawks goaltending prospect Adam Guyan. And Guyan is in net. So
check it out.
It's on ESPN2 if you want to. Now that we're done, you can go tune into that game for the third period.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll talk to everybody on Sunday. Is that again another 6 o'clock puck drop?
It's
6 o'clock, so 5:30 pregame. We'll talk to you then. Let's hope they can end this trip on a high note. Oof. All right, talk to you then on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.